Hi everyone,
Hi,
we're back. This is episode 2
Of the
of Go ahead.
Roving Hearts, the Roving Hearts podcast. Here we are.
We're really thrilled that you're back and watching us, maybe for the first time or maybe again, hopefully. Hopefully we didn't scare you guys off. So we've got a couple things planned for tonight.
We've got our finished spins in progress, knitting projects, and a couple of, we each have a giveaway to talk about.
Yeah, so lots of fun things going on.
Mm-hmm.
So why don't you start? You've got a little sample in your hands.
Okay, so this is to do with the Zero to Hero spin along, knit along that Rachel is putting on through Welford Pearls. And the idea being taking your raw fiber and figuring out the grist. And sorry, I have to figure out where to look on the screen. Grist being your yards per pound, or how much mileage are you going to get out of a pile of roving or a fleece or something. And so she's been kind of walking us through that. And this is the sample that I did up, new thing for me. I wish I could show you the picture of the roving. Anyway, and this was the first one I did.
That's pretty.
But I really, really liked it. I thought I had a winner. I'll show you the roving that it came from.
And you've got photos on your Instagram too.
You can definitely check out the Endless Roving feed to see. So this is the roving. It's a silk merino blend, and it's got lots of green and teal and dark browns, and it's kind of picking up all the colors.
Oh yeah.
So when I did the sample, I realized, oh, it's going to have far too much barber pull and too much teal for what I was going for. I was planning to do the Canopy Shawl by Melody Hoffman. So I did take two. I dyed some gray merino, and I used greens and browns on gray, and you're not getting a lot of the color variation, but at least I realized this was more along the lines of what I wanted.
Yeah, it's a bit more subtle.
And a little more earthy tones.
Yeah.
And so this is what I ended up with.
Oh, so pretty. Look at that skein.
You can kind of see the striping in here. Like there is some color variation there with browns and greens.
Oh yeah. But it's more subtle. I think that'll make a really nice, especially if you have a bit of texture or something in your pattern, it'll look really nice.
Yeah, well, what I've decided to do is the Age of Brass and Steam Kerchief. I've had that in my favorites for a long time, and I ended up with 375 yards, and I'd say, well, I have to do the wraps print to be sure, but it's, I'd say a sport to worsted weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. It's quite a balanced yarn. So.
Oh yeah, and I like your plying. I like the twist on there is really nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, but like you said, it's balanced, but it's got a really nice high twist.
I was trying to be very consistent
Yeah.
with the plying angle, and anyway, I learned quite a bit with this, and so thank you, Rachel, for that.
Yeah, she has some great videos. We were watching them a couple weeks ago, and it is. It's so, she's very technical, which is probably something that I should be, focusing on a little more. And it was good to see someone kind of lay it out, how to, like you said, the twist angle and consistent plying. And
well, I've always considered myself an intuitive, by feel kind of spinner. I know you're the same. And a friend of mine just couldn't understand why I would want to be more technical. And I said, well, it's like learning to cook East Indian food. You get the spice palette down and you know how to make a good dish. But everything's the same until you learn how to mix it up a little bit.
Right.
And you need those new skills to be
Yeah.
able to come up with something different. And so that's why I want to learn, you know, the technicalities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that'll be pretty.
Yeah.
I've actually got
Thank you.
an Age of Brass and Steam finished.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'll just quickly, do I have it? Where did it go? Here it is. Just before we move on, this will give you an idea. I can't think of the pattern designer right now, but it's Age of Brass and Steam shawl. So you can see- kerchief. So there's you know, little eyelet rows, a lot of just stocking it. This is actually something I finished in like May last year and just got around to washing and blocking. I did this for a knit along with the yarn designer Baron Wool. Vicky from Baron Wool had a knit along with this colorway. Anyways, you could pick whatever pattern you wanted and use her colorway Pond, which is what this yarn is. Very super pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And
I remember seeing that in the skein and just loving that rich blue and these rusty oranges.
yeah,
really
yeah.
stunning.
So finally got around to blocking that, and yeah, so that'll give you an idea.
That's something I've never done is block a thing.
It makes such a
huge
difference with
difference.
stuff like this. Well, I'm sure you should block everything, but you know.
I did
Did
knit
you
a
block
tiny-
that?
No, I should. But this is a little knitted swatch that I did with that yarn and with the Age of Brass and Steam in mind. There's the back side, and you can see the eyelets. So there's a little bit of striation and color there. I think it'll be okay.
I think it's gonna look great.
And it's fairly soft. I mean, there's no silk, but it's not too prickly or anything.
Oh, no.
So
I think it's gonna be very pretty.
thank you. It'll be tolerable.
Better than that. So what else? What else you got down in there?
Are we still talking roving and spinning? Are we talking knitting or where? I don't know where to go from here.
Let's do like works in progress. Maybe?
Okay. Well, two quick things.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Naro sweaters.
Mm-hmm.
I am still waiting for the Malabrigo that I ordered. Very disappointed that it's not here yet. But I did finish the Noro yoke, and I love it. It's upside down, but at least you can. Let's see. Want to take an end?
Yeah.
There.
Yeah, the colors are so pretty.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I mean, that was pretty straightforward. There weren't as many short rows as I thought there were going to be.
Yeah.
It was just a couple here and there.
Yeah, I think I had the same thought.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be.
A little more detailed or...
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the 351 colorway, and I'm happy with it, and I love the greens and yellows in there. And now I just have to be patient and
wait.
Yeah. So I'll put that away, and I did start another project, but let's see your sweater.
I finished my sweater because my yarn wasn't back ordered, which must be so frustrating. Yeah, it's back here. So just got a bath and a blocking.
Yeah.
Really made the yarn bloom to look really much better. So where's the front? So that's the finished
Oh, yeah.
garter yoke. I'm probably gonna have to put it on, aren't I? Yeah, so that gives you an idea. I think actually I'm going to wear it most often with the top few buttons buttoned up. Just exactly, and have it hang just as it's hanging now. I'm really happy with it. So we've got Noro. I'm not 100% sure what the colorway is, but you can see it's like black and kind of like a greeny, bluey, a little bit of pink. And then Brooklyn Tweed Shelter.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
What did you use for the body
This
again?
is, I've never knit with Brooklyn tweed. It's just gorgeous. And it really did bloom. It's colorway sweatshirt.
It's a nice weight. Like, that's going to be a nice warm sweater.
Yeah, it's, what did they say? They said it's a woolen spin. And so it's a little more airy and a little more fluffy. So I did, I think the only mod I did is on the sleeve. There's no shaping in the original sleeve, and you can see I've put some shaping in here because we were just, my other friend is knitting it as well, and she finished hers first because she's a keener.
And she was sick for a week.
Yeah, she was sick, so she just sat and knit. But yeah, so she ended up doing some decreases as well because it was just too big. You know, the sleeve just kept going. I think there were 60 stitches on the top of the sleeve. So I ended up, I just started doing a few decreases. Every 10 rows, I decreased 2 stitches right at the seam here. And yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, and it just, you know, kind of worked out. I had 40 stitches and I was ready for my cuff. So just a little bit of a modification.
Whoops, what seam?
Well, I guess not the seam. I guess the beginning
like
of the round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell that there's an edge there.
And yeah, I'll just, like, you could see if that was the same width all the way down, it would be a really big sleeve where I wanted it a little more fitted like it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to get some buttons turned. Try not to smack you in the face. And there we go. Yeah, so I posted a photo of this the other day, but yeah, it's really pretty, you know? It's just, I think it's just going to lay open most of the time. Unfortunately, you can't really wear it open. You can see I kind of have to mess with it.
When we both cast on a fewer number of stitches, which starts at the top, right? It's top down.
That's true. I took 10 stitches off the cast.
Yeah, we did 103, I think.
Yeah,
and it's still really wide on the shoulders.
It's open. I think with this kind of shirt, it looks kind of weird. But it looks really nice with a tank top or like a more open neck shirt. But yeah, if you put a t-shirt on, I don't like.
Yeah, this just sort of sticks out there.
It's just kind of lost.
Yeah. What did Rowie do on her neckline?
She did even fewer. I think she did 93.
Okay.
Yeah, so just a couple little tweaks. But yeah, really like nice knit, not too complicated. And,
good for a first cardigan.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so anyways, really happy with that. Turned out really well. And looking forward to wearing it out, you know, in the world.
Yeah.
There's always that transition where you have this finished sweater and then you want to go wear it out. But it seems, I don't know, I always, takes me a while. I want to wear it right away, but I always feel like I'm walking out, like, you know.
You got to be careful with it and everything.
Yeah,
and then eventually it gets broken in.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right.
Yeah. I did start another, pardon me, another cardigan, and I'm using Rowie's wool that I talked about in the first episode. It was that Caribbean sunset, and this is how it's knitting up.
Little baby cardigan, right?
Yeah, I think it's called the tiered baby jacket, or I'll look at the pattern in a minute. Oh, for crying out loud.
It's very sweet.
But there, I'm just loving it. I'm loving the way the colors are working out.
Yeah, so you just got some raglan increases here. Yeah.
And then I had a big pause because I thought I'd made a mistake and why was my count off? And I realized, I was knitting the wrong size in this one particular section. So, whoops. But here's
easy to do.
Yeah. It is called the Baby Tiered Coat Pattern by Lisa Kemery. So there's a little picture of the jacket. Yeah. And friends of ours are due next month, and so I'm hoping to have it finished by then.
Well, now that you're back on track, it'll probably go. Yeah.
I think so. I just ripped it back to the second buttonholes. So now I know exactly where I am. I should have the right number of stitches and should be good to go.
Perfect.
And you're working on your hitchhiker skull?
Yeah, it's actually getting...
Hitchhiker skull.
The hitchhiker shawl is starting to get quite large. So this is one of these great patterns. I started it for a road trip. Okay, so I had my sweater on the needles, and we were going on a road trip, and there was going to be 4 of us in a little truck and a dog, a Bernese Mountain Dog. So I needed something small. And yeah, I've knit one of these before. So the hitchhiker shawl by I think I've got the pattern right here. I'll just check. No, I don't. It's on Ravelry.
It's getting to be a popular pattern.
Yeah, you see it a lot. People are doing it, and it's one of those great ones where you start with a teeny tiny little corner, you know, and you start making these little teeth, and you're always increasing kind of along, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I'm almost, you know, I'm getting to the end now. I've got big long rows. I think I've got, yeah, that's all the yarn I have left. So I'm doing good.
Is that another hand paint?
This is more Rowies yarn. This is Pirate's yarn. Apparently we have a little obsession with her I didn't know about because we're always talking about her. This is one of her speckles, her speckle dyed in Cabin Fever colorway. I think I picked this up at the winter market, the Christmas market.
It's looking quite blue in the screen, and
it's
kind of more of a sea foam green, and that's a good beautiful color, but it's not as blue as it's looking in the camera.
And the nice thing about the speckle dye with these patterns is you don't get any pooling, which I think is great. You know, I'm not a fan of it at all. Yeah, I'm sure I'll talk about that a lot. So yeah, so that's just going, and it's one of those ones that you can just work away at. And then I've got one other little quick knit that I finished on that same road trip, which is these boot toppers in this charcoal, the little braid. They're the paved boot toppers by Tin Can Knits.
Yeah, they turned out really well.
Yeah, I've worn them a couple times. They're really cute. You know, you don't have that big bulky sock underneath your boot. Right. And this is Madeline Tosh.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. I know I checked these out before, but
I think it's Madeline Tosh. I should be more prepared, but
well, like I said, we're gonna edit these.
It is for sure. For sure it is. I'm more and more convinced. Yeah. I can't remember the colorway, but it actually has a little bit of kind of a bluey purple.
Yeah, I can see that in there.
Yeah, as well as the charcoal. You really see it when the sunlight catches it. But again, really fast knit. You know, you can use a really nice yarn, like a luxury yarn, because you only need one ball. Yeah. And yeah, so really love that. Happy with how those turned out as well.
I need to do more cabling. I've only done one project with cables, but I did see, pardon me, toque, and it's got a cable worked into the ribbing, and then it continues on into the body of the hat. Cool. Oh yeah, I really like the look of that. I saw it on Ravelry.
Yeah, and cables aren't hard, but you know, you get good wow factor, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So spinning. Yeah. I showed you the roving that I had originally planned to use for this spackle. But I guess my next spin, now that I've got that kind of sorted, a friend of mine here on Pender Island.
It's so pretty.
Oops. Can you see?
Oh yeah.
The greens in there and whatnot?
Yes, it's sort of a gray, there's a little bit of greens. Where it's nighttime here, so we don't have the best light. Yeah. Oh, we're in my craft room. Wanted to mention that.
Yeah, we're at Laura's today.
We're switching it out. So, anyways, we're in my craft room, but it's dark. So, I'm sorry.
That's all good. So all I wanted to say about this was it's going to be spun for a friend of mine, and she wants it to be spun into a single. I'm hoping for a worsted weight, not too bulky or chunky. So this is 100% merino, hand dyed. I like these little pink bits and plum bits. I'm happy with that colorway.
Yeah.
And she's actually writing a stitch dictionary for left-handed knitters. So she's going to use some of these things in her book.
That was a really funny moment. I work at the hardware store, and I ran into this woman, and I was pretty sure she was the left-handed knitter, and I just kind of went off on her, like in a very, like, you know, enthusiastic way at the till at the hardware store.
That's
like, I'm a left-handed knitter. Oh, I'm so excited. Rochelle told me all about you. And this woman she was very, very nice, but I think she was just a little overwhelmed by how excited I was. Probably not expecting that when she was buying light bulbs. You know?
Yeah. You gotta love a small town, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That is gorgeous too.
So this is another one that she picked. This is going to be a chain ply, and it's a merino silk with a lot of fall colors, and
your colors are amazing.
Thank you.
You really are.
I'm really drawn to these rusts and greens, and I love, there's a little bit of it, kind of a tobacco green. Sure. There's a bit of a pale spot right here, but I'm hoping it'll work into the overall. I guess there's a couple of them. But I'm just loving it. I've been dyeing a lot of roving, not so much yarn these days, and I just can't get enough of it. I dyed two pots tonight before I came over. So
that's so great. So when you spin, you tend to just spin straight off the braid, don't you? I was thinking about the pale spots and if they were going to work their way in.
Yeah, usually. But for this, I'm going to start making my fiber nest now because I don't have actually anything else to share.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, like I'm doing a single, so I'm going to strip this down. Like, I'm just going to break a piece off so I can show you. But I'm going to break it down to roughly the size that I want it to be. So these are all just like bits that have been stuck together. So you can just start stripping it. Like you probably do this too.
I do. I tend to do that. No matter what I'm spinning, I kind of break it down a little bit.
So I might just spin from that, or I might strip it down again because I do not want it to be too thick. So we'll see. I like, but yeah. Sorry, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I think it's good, especially with a single. You know, I'm always working on the perfect single. I still haven't gotten there. Oh, I almost dipped my yarn in my hot chocolate there. It's, you know, it's hard to get that nice, even, consistent yarn without overspinning. You know, you get concentrating on getting your thickness right, and then you're just twisting. So, yeah, I think it's a good idea to pre-draft a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too. Just to help with consistency. I was just going to say one tip I learned from JC Boggs about doing thick and thin is when you strip down your fiber, you strip it down to about the thickness you want your thick parts to be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you can draft the thinner parts a little more. Yeah, I've never, I don't think I've ever planned on doing a thick and thin. You know what I mean? They just sort of happen. I'd like to get to the point where I was, mindfully making a consistent thick and thin. You were talking about, I remember the last time she did a thick and thin, you were talking about doing a little bit at the beginning of not thick and thin, of just all one kind of
just a regular,
thickness.
like for, say, pardon me, let's speak English. For your cast on edge, you don't need a thick and thin necessarily, so it's kind of a waste of fiber. And so if you just spin a few yards or feet or whatever of a regular yarn and then
get a nice smooth cast on.
Yeah,
I just thought that was another kind of neat idea for the thick and thin. Yeah, so maybe that'll be something to work on in the future. Plan on doing a thick and thin instead of having it happen accidentally.
Well, it's cute because a lot of new spinners, they're naturally spinning these beautiful, springy, like overspun and thick and thin and crazy yarns with the goal, generally, of spinning a fine, lace weight, And then Jody, another friend here who's not exactly brand new to spinning, but she just got a new wheel and she's pretty excited about it. And she's happy with her, chunky, thicker spins. And it's kind of nice to see somebody who's like just so thrilled with what they're producing right off the get-go, And that was kind of where I was going with that, is once you practice spinning thin and fine and consistent, can be really hard to go back to spinning thick.
Yeah. That's kind of the point I'm at right now, where I'm getting really good at a thin yarn and, getting pretty good at chain ply.
Yes,
you got that. A lot of time chain plying. So it is cool that she's enjoying it, and loving that yarn, because you can never recreate that yarn you made when you were new.
Yeah.
When you were a new spinner.
Yeah.
Somewhere back here, I've already stripped down some of my fiber. I did this last night. So I do these little rolls.
Yeah.
And this is Malabrigo Noob. Do I have... Look, I have one tag. It is Persia.
Okay.
Persia? Persia. You see that? And I love the Malabrigo, but like you've spun with it, sometimes it can be really kind of felty and hard to draft.
In certain places, yeah.
I guess maybe just the way they dye it, the kettle dye or something. But this one seems pretty good, actually. I was thinking as I stripped it down, and like it felt like it was pretty decent. But I'm not 100% sure where I want to go with this yet. I think I want it to be a single, and I think I'm going to just try and do a nice, thin, even single.
Yeah.
And just kind of go with that. But I stripped this down last night, and then I wasn't quite sure if that's where I wanted to go with it. I was thinking maybe doing a thick single, but I've tried to do that with the Malabrigo before and then just been a little disappointed at the end because I couldn't get it as consistent as I wanted. So I thought maybe I'll try a little thinner, and I know I'll be able to do that a little better and do justice to it.
About staple length, if that makes a difference to the type of single that you want to spin. Like, I can't even start to imagine how it would affect it, but merino is usually a shorter staple, so you almost think it would be easier to do a thick single because you wouldn't have to. But I find it's almost when you're drafting those and poof, it just lets go on you.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do a consistent. At least it is for me. A consistent thick single. So I think I'll do it a little thinner, and then, like I said, I'm gonna like it better. I'm gonna enjoy it, and I won't be, not sad with the finished product, but I won't be like thinking, oh, I could have done that a little better. Anyway, so
it would make a neat thick and thin too. I can see that in it.
Yeah. So maybe we'll just let this hang out for another day or two till I decide. I haven't been doing a lot of spinning. I've been back sewing again. I have way too many hobbies, so I felt like my wheel was needing something, and so I grabbed that. You know, we haven't posted a video in a couple weeks, and I was spinning a lot a few weeks ago. I was busy, so I've got some other things to show you.
Let's see, because I haven't seen these either.
Yeah, I
yet,
saved
so.
some for a surprise. So I'm gonna do a couple that I think you have seen before.
Okay.
Just we were talking about different yarns. You know, I'm always trying to try different techniques and just, you know, challenge myself.
Yeah.
Not get stuck in a rut. So I've got like 3 little different examples here. I've got this single from Siobhan's Crafts. She's on Etsy under that name. And this is a bat from her. It's really gorgeous.
It's got some sparkle in it.
Oh yeah, it's got sparkle. It's got lots of white mixed in with like rainbow candy colors. I just love it. She's a really, really, really cool fiber artist. She's doing really neat stuff. She's in the UK, so this is the first time I've ordered from her. At Christmas, I got this. So yeah, so this is a bat from her, and it's not huge. It's just a couple ounces. You can see though, I was trying to do a nice single, and there's definitely pigtails in there. This has already been blocked. You know, it's been given its bath, and it'll be fine for me.
Oh no.
And do you have some fiber in your nose?
I think so.
It's something that happens, isn't it?
Yeah. When you say it'll be fine for you, do you mean you will work the yarn rather than sell the yarn?
Yeah, and you know, when I knit with my hand spun, and you know, if I get to a point where I've got this big twist working up, you know, the twist kind of just keeps on working its way back. What I actually do is I just dangle my work and just let it unspin a bit. So that's actually, if you've never done that before, my friend told me to do that. And it's so simple, but I'd never thought of it before. And it really, you know, these yarns that you're like, yeah, it's not the best, or it's got some pigtails, you can then use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that, and I haven't knit with a single other than to do a swatch. And that twist, instead of a square, I went, it was a diamond.
Oh,
and because
yeah.
the twist just carried right through. And I mean, you know, it wasn't a surprise. It was like, yeah, there it is. And, you know, you want to knit with these beautiful singles sometimes, and
That's so pretty.
like a kind of, sorry.
Little fluffy.
Yeah, but to know that little trick, and then you can kind of move on with your projects and use that yarn that you love so much.
Yeah, I remember a year or so ago knitting a cowl, and you know, just every couple minutes I'd knit around, and then I'd just dangle it and get rid of the extra twist. But it turned into a really beautiful cowl, you know?
You didn't find that frustrating? Like, oh my god, I'm dangling my work again?
Yeah, but
yeah,
you know,
at least you got to use the yarn.
it was chunky, it was a big thick cowl, and it worked. I think we were actually having a knit night at a restaurant, and, you know, caught a few people at other tables looking at me, you know, as I'm dangling this cowl and letting it spin. But anyway, so it works. So, you know, I love it. I'm super happy with it, and, you know, yeah, it's a journey.
Yeah.
So then we've got, this is a 2-ply, and this is from the same order I got from Siobhan's Crafts. And this was just a little rainbow braid she had in merino and bamboo, which I thought was really cool, and I'd never spun bamboo before. It had a really crazy texture. It was like...
May I? Oh, almost ropey.
Yeah, in the bat... Not the bat, in the braid,
Yeah.
it was as if the merino had kind of done its thing, and the bamboo would just go and stuck together. So there's these
okay.
like strips of kind of this whitish bamboo that didn't take the color quite as much.
Is that a piece of it there?
Yeah, you can see some of these little, can you see that? Little fluffs of bamboo, yeah, popping up.
It's almost like a guard hair from alpaca.
Mm-hmm. It was different, and it's a tree fiber, right? I don't have a lot of experience spinning with that. But it turned out really cool, and I tried to keep the rainbow going. I think I just ripped it into two, and I did 2 plies, and then I'm trying to work on a higher twist on my 2-ply.
Yeah,
because I was
that
actually
looks good.
Yeah, I was actually under twisting my 2-ply. I was letting it go through too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Right.
trying to get yardage.
Mm-hmm.
So single. This is the 2-ply, and you know, just a small amount, but it was just a fun. You know, I just got it from an auction, and so it was, you know, wasn't super expensive. It gave me a chance to buy from her, which I hadn't had a chance to do, and I added this bat on, and spun that as well. And then this is, you know, this is my 3-ply, which, you know, I love. I feel like not that I've mastered that. I would never quite
But you're
go
very
that far.
good at it, and you feel confident doing it.
Yeah, I do. I can, you know, I can do this pretty consistently. I can spin a nice thin single, and then, you know, because you're 3-plying, you don't need to worry about having too much twist, because you're going to lose a lot of twist in the plying.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more than a 2-ply, I think, right? Because you're putting that extra ply on there as well. No, does that make sense?
But I find when I'm doing the chain ply, I sometimes get a lot of extra ply twist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah. So I've been working on that, and it's pretty darn balanced.
No kidding. That's beautiful.
This is a bat. It has some sparkle in there. I don't know if you can pick up the sparkle, but there's grays and whites and lots of blues. It's like, to me, it's like... I wish you had
a picture of the bat.
I know. I don't even think I photographed them. I think I just spun them right away. So I got this at Naughty by Nature in Victoria. This is our local yarn shop that we love very much.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a woman there doing beautiful bats. Anyways, I'm so happy with it.
It turned out a lot darker than I thought, and the bat looked like a cloudy sky, you know. But there was a lot of light blue and white in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really surprised actually to see how dark the yarn turned out.
You're right. The navy really popped. You know,
Yeah.
often the white kind of washes out the other colors, but the navy is still there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good point.
Love it.
I love it.
Turned out really well.
Yeah, and I know that my husband is a perfectionist. If he picks the yarn up and is like, this is really nice, you know, then I know I've done a good job. Because he doesn't like, you know, those thread-plied ones I showed you last week? He hates them.
Oh.
Like, he's like, I don't like this at all. It's inconsistent. And anyway, so he really likes this. He likes the color and the twist. And this is going to be, like, I can make whatever I want out of this. Like, it's not like I have to be like, oh, well, you know, I'll just do something. I don't know where I was going with that. It's going to be very versatile.
Yeah, you can do, it's going to have nice stitch definition. If you wanted to do something with cables or...
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, very nice.
I'm not sure what it wants to be yet. But it'll be something.
So we have contests to talk about.
Right. Why don't you start?
Oh, no, you go ahead.
Okay. Last episode I mentioned that I wanted to say thank you for all the love and support on Instagram. And I think I showed you these row legs from Laura. So I won't dig them out of the bag, but they're this lovely minty spring green and kind of blossomy pink with a dark black and gray on one end. And then Rowie from Pirates Yarn had this beauteous skein. I'm going to actually pop it out. It's a 100% merino DK.
Yeah, I can take that.
Thanks. There we go. And I popped the label off to try and take photos, and there's a lovely spot of navy blue right there, and there's purple and whatnot. And then I'm throwing in a skein of fingering weight speckle dye. It's
Be perfect for a hitchhiker.
yeah. It's not showing a true color, like it's not looking that interesting. But
It's a little washed out in the picture.
It's kind of a greeny blue with a teal or navy blue speckle on it.
Yeah.
But there's pictures on Instagram, so
Yeah, that's really gorgeous.
check it out.
So that is that's
Currently live.
currently live. Maybe would be wrapped up by the time this gets posted.
Oh, possibly.
We'll see how our weekend goes.
It's running until the 28th, I think, of February. So,
Yeah.
good luck if you enter.
Very pretty. And then I also hit 500 followers pretty recently too. It's funny, we started our accounts around the same time, and they've kind of been growing together. So I set up a contest. I did things a little differently this time. I've got one of my project bags that I sell. So this one's Tula Pink fabric. It's got the lovely little deer. Quite love those. And it's perfect like sock yarn project. So I've got that and some felted soaps, which are super fun. I just take really nice, good quality soaps and wrap them in wool and wet felt them. So that's the part of the giveaway. And then I've got followers who are knitters, I've got followers who are spinners, I've got followers who are sewists. And and so I thought I'd do something a little different with them. So I'm having people post whether they like to knit, spin, or sew. And that's how you kind of enter. And so I'm going to give one of these extras away as well, whatever they choose. So I've got a bag of roll eggs. Maybe I'll pull one out in just a really nice dark charcoal black colorway with some reds in there, reds and whites.
Really pretty. Almost a plummy, like a dark plum.
Yeah. I think this is Roving from Knit Picks, actually, the dark. So yeah, so you get a choice. If you like to spin, you can get those. If you like to sew, I've got like just a little bundle of fabric. These are little 10-inch squares and really fun colors. And so that's your sewing option. And then I've got a skein of nice hand spun single from Roll Eggs. If they choose knit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
I don't think I've seen that spin.
I don't know if I showed you that or not.
Yes, it's still rolling.
It's fairly
Oh,
recent.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice texture and perfectly balanced by the look of things. Like, I don't see one little curly cue there.
It's pretty good, yeah. So I think I call these mermaid tails.
Yeah,
for
fun
Roll
colors.
Eggs. Yeah. So yeah, so we've got lots going on.
Yeah.
Right? As usual. So yeah, I think
that wraps
think
it up
that's
for this episode.
yeah. So, we're still doing our thing here. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and we want to hear what you're all working on too. So hopefully, you can comment or find us on Instagram or Ravelry.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Ravelry someday.
Or deep dark Ravelry secrets. Yeah, we'd love to get some more conversations going on YouTube as well. We've had a couple comments. We really appreciate those. And we had lots of great comments on Instagram. But yeah, we'd really love to kind of continue that dialogue and hear from you guys.
Yeah. So until next time, Happy crafting.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye bye.